in my Cloud 9 collection, which is my February sparkle bag. I want to do a beautiful chain link here with this gorgeous howlite. And so that is what I'm working with. Two other beads here, I'll show you in a minute. I have already started my chain link, okay? And here is my pattern. It's really simple, laid out for you. What I've done, friends, is I've grabbed some 6mm rondelles and that purple AB. You did have a strand of those, and I just grabbed some 8mm rondelles in this Gainsborough, which is a really beautiful gray. I just think it's going to pick up all that gray veining in that howlite really well. So just a few crystals. You can use any beads. And you can make your link so many ways, right? You can absolutely grab your one-step looper if you so desire, because this helps it to go quicker, okay? Which I did do on that side. On this side, I kind of, after about halfway through, I just grabbed my round nose. So it's really your preference. So all of my links, but two, I believe here, are done. So the two things I'm doing here is I'm making sure all of my loops are closed, right? That is the most important thing, right? Besides the gauge of our wire. I'm making sure all of my links are closed. The other thing I was doing, and I did make a few here that I just discombobulated in the ones that I already looked at, so I don't have to look at them all. The other thing that I'm doing here, friends, is I'm turning my loops the same direction, but it does not matter, right? It's chain link. You do not have to do that, right? They will lay beautifully. And notice I also am not using jump rings, and you absolutely can use jump rings to give yourself length. But I'm connecting everything to each other. All my little link components here, they are all linked to each other. So, guys, here's my coordinating earrings. We're gonna do our own little head pin right here, and just a simple wire wrap on the outside. And I just think it's really simple and beautiful, and it picks up well. So I just used two howlite, and then of course one of the purple and one of the Gainsborough, just to go right back to the necklace. So really super easy. We'll do that one when we're done. So what I'll do, friends, is, again, there's so many ways we can do our simple loops. Let me show you the way I'm doing it today, which is so super beginner friendly and easy. I am just going to go and grab my pliers right to the end of that wire that I flush cut, right? And I'm going to put my plier right in that wire to where there's no wire sticking out, right? And I'm just going to roll it in until that wire touches. Okay, just a simple rotation. And here's what I have, right? And then I'm just going to put my plier back in there, and I'm just going to literally kick it back. And that works fine too. Any way you want to get to your simple loop, you can get there. But this is just the way I've been doing it today, simply because it's so fast and easy. There's 22 gauge, I've got smaller beads, very lovely to work with, so I'm not trying to complicate matters. So there's my bead. I'll just go ahead and put a bend in my wire. I'll use my finger width here as my guide, and I usually trim about that much. It's about 1/4 of an inch or so, right? And then I'll just trim. And I'm going to do the same thing. Go right to the edge of that wire. We'll grab that with our tool, and we'll just roll in a loop. Okay? And there we go. Okay? So now what I will do is use my chain nose, and I will put my loops the same direction if I want to, but most importantly, I do want to make sure that that loop is closed, or I can wait until I'm feeding them all on, which is typically what I'll do as well. So either way, we will get to the correct result. Okay, so we'll make sure we flush cut that wire. I'm just gonna go right to the end. And right to the end of the wire, sorry guys. And then we'll go ahead and let's roll in a loop until that touched the inside of my wire, right? I'm gonna now put my plier back in there, right? And I'm just going to rotate my wrist a little here, right? And just centered my loop on my wire. And it is that simplistic, right? And then I'll feed my last bead on here. And we'll do the same thing. I'll just put a bend in my wire right like that. And then I'm going to grab my cutters. I'm going to use my finger as a guide. And I'm going to trim right about the edge there, about 1/4 of an inch or so. And roll in a loopy loop. And there we go. So I want to make sure I'm turning my loops the same direction. We can do that too. And there we go. Now it's just a matter of literally building. So what I like to do is grab a good pair of chain nose, right? So you're going to want a really good pair of chain nose pliers that has a nice grip on it, but also, like, these are my thinner ones I'm going to grab right now. You can also use your flat nose, right? If you want to use your flat nose, any of your chain nose will work, right? I've got my thin bent nose here too, if you need those. So just get your chain nose that you like the best. Closed, right? So the first link, I need to open it, right? And then I'll go ahead and we'll feed it on. And we're just basically going to open and close loops, my friends. It's a very beginner-friendly type of jewelry. We're just making simple loops. We've also got the one-step looper in our arsenal, right? Make things even faster and easier. And opening and closing and connecting. A really great basic technique, right? So now I have to open this loop to feed on the next one, right? Now this is why I make sure my loops right there for this bead right here I just put on, for this particular component. This is why before I even start, I do make sure all of my loops are totally closed, because once I feed on the bottom, I'm only going to have to now open up the top loop, right? And I don't want to have to go back and fuss and look, although you can, right? So I will do that really quick. Let me stop and do that and make sure all of my loops are closed. And if there's any that look like they need a little help, I'll just pop them closed. And yes, I know it seems kind of silly because we're just going to open them again, but it does go faster. So that one's just a tiny bit open, so I'm definitely, because, you know, like I was just showing you, right? When I'm feeding on the bottom one, I don't want to have to go back and worry about it and look at it. I just want to know that it's closed. And so there's lots of different things we can do here, by the way. One thing that I've done before that I really truly enjoy is a double jump ring. And it's just kind of a cool look, to tell you the truth. So here's what I'm thinking we're going to do. We're going to do the double jump ring, okay? So I am going to, let me pull you back in, sorry guys, so you can see. Okay, so I am going to make sure that my loops are good and closed here. I don't need to open them again, okay? I am going to grab these 6mm that I have, okay? And we'll get 2 pair of pliers, and let's open these up so that we don't open the links. We don't want to open and close our links too much, right? And so I'm going to go and feed 1 on and then 2 on. This also will help it to lay really cool in the front. And again, this is just designing again, guys. Design choices. So awesome when we have so much freedom of design, even with the same technique, right, my loves? We all can get the technique down, but put different spins on things. That's just what I love it so much about jewelry making. So I've got my first jump ring on there, right? I'm going to do that same thing with my second one. Okay? And so I'll put it right through those loops on the purple beads there, right? So there's 1 and 2. And then we'll probably put the 8mm on both of these. All right, let me get that closed correctly. I think that looks good. And so do you see what I have here? See, I have both my 6mm right there. right? And so now what we'll do is we're gonna grab a 8mm jump ring and then a howlite, and we'll hang it from this. So that's the most, oh my gosh, guys, decisions. Which one, eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Okay, this one is really saturated with that veining. So beautiful. So we'll reserve, okay? And, you know, just kind of looking at the stones that I have, and I'm thinking, I want something to be really in scale with that. So I'm thinking this one, guys. This one's really speaking to me. So I'm thinking we're gonna go with this one, okay? And so we'll grab an 8mm jump ring. And let's do this. Let's feed that right through both of those 6s right there. Okay, so I've got that, and then we'll just simply pop our bail with our pendant on, just like that, and then we're gonna put some jump rings on the chain and have a beautiful howlite chain link necklace. Guys, I am so happy that I decided to do chain link. I love chain link so much, I'm not kidding. I can't even remember the last time I've done it on the channel, guys. I really don't. It's been at least a year. But guess what? Now it hasn't. Now I did it. And I love chain so much. You know, it's an asymmetrical, you guys know. This is my favorite type of jewelry. So you know what I should probably do? It's the same thing for a bracelet, huh? Maybe. So let me show you what this looked like. I'm gonna lay this down. So it's kind of the way it'll hang, right? So let me put that right there. Do you see what I mean, guys? Do you see how it's kind of a fun way, right? For that to lay. You know, it's just a fun way for that to lay. It's just that simple, right? So fun. But you could have absolutely, if you wanted to, my friends, you can take that 1 6mm or 1 8mm and just put your chain link and your howlite all on one as well. Just be a little bit more crowded. But it's chain link, so it should lay nicely any way you do it. So that's what that looks like. And we're gonna grab my chain, and let's see what we have here. We're gonna do a 6, I think, on, should I do a 6? No, you know what? Nope, I think I'm going to do 8s. Because they're all stainless steel, so I don't know. It's the back of the neck, and plus it just makes it easier, frankly, guys, for me to clasp it, so. Oh, did you see what I just did, guys? Oh my God. Okay, grab the chain you were just talking about. Now here's another thing too. If you have chain, this chain does happen to open. It is non-soldered, right? It is not soldered, which means I can open the links. I do not have to cut it and waste any of this beautiful Venetian box chain, okay? So we can open and close the links. So we could have done that directly here, right? If we wanted to. If I would have made bigger loops, but I made really small loops on my chain link, and it's just because I had 6mm gemstones, right? So back by popular demand out of the dish is the 6mm. That's why I needed that extra 6mm. So let me grab another one since I put 2 on our pendant. So let's go like that and grab that chain and get that on there. But you can absolutely put your chain directly on your chain link. Absolutely. And I do that quite often. In this case, like I said, it's because I made smaller loops. Let's get you nice and close. So most important thing, friends, right? Making sure your loops, your jump rings, everything is closed. We're using 22 gauge, even 20 gauge wire, right? We don't want anything slipping through the cracks. So there's that. And then let me grab one more 6mm jump ring, right? Or we could slip it right over the head. In fact, let me see. Guys, it doesn't even need a clasp. I made it long enough, it doesn't even need a clasp, right? But because I have the hardware out here, and if you have some similar chain or any chain that does not have any soldering on it, you can open it. Let me just show you that really quick. Or let's say, for example, even you want to make a shorter chain link, right? You want to have less components and more chain, right? You can do that too. All you're going to do, my friends, is just kind of find the center. Let's find the center of our chain, right? So that's going to be, it's going to be this link right here, right? And you'll just grab that link and you'll open it up. Just like that, right? And you remove that link, and then obviously you just add your hardware. It's that simple. But you know what? I did not know that I made that long enough to slip over the head, so that's even better. Yay. Yay for me. I like that, because I like to eliminate things where I can, so. There we go. Let me get you out. And that is what I have. So that is our beautiful necklace. And I just love that delicate light pop of the purple and the gray. I just love that. Let's do the earrings. Really fun. Really, really fun. So what we're going to do, that is not big enough of a piece. I will put that in my scraps and grab a longer piece. Let's make a head pin. So now we're going to grab some nylon jaw, shall we? Round nose, some cutters, and some chain nose. Sounds about right. And we'll grab our pliers, right? Let's go right to the end of that wire, making sure it's flush cut, which I just did, right? And we're going to go ahead and make a couple of rotations. Now, you've heard me say this 7 different ways, if not more, on my channel. There are some techniques to making a head pin, right, friends? But doesn't mean you can't put your own spin on it. So you can twirl like I'm twirling, where your wire is going up or down, so long as it's laying next, all your wraps are laying next to each other, right? It's the most important part. You can do 2 rotations, because there's where I started right there, right? And it's facing me, so you can do 2 rotations. I actually went a little further because it's can become part of our design now. I went 3 full rotations, right? And now I am going to kick that wire up. We'll remove the tool. Let's grab that end and go around and put it through that coil we just made, right? We'll pull it on up as far as we can get it, and then we'll grab those nylon jaw pliers, and we're going to rest that right on our nylon jaw, grab another pair of chain nose, and pull. And we'll just finagle a little here until it looks the way we want it to look. That is not the way I want that to look, so let's get that going up. And let's pull that again and kind of get that to where it looks like a knot, right? And then I usually kind of just do some smushing. I do some smushing. It's very technical. Yeah, we'll just straighten that wire back out. I do want to go back, though, and make sure that there's no pokey, no sharp edge, right, from where I originally started and cut my wire. And I don't have any sharp edges. And I'm just going to do a howlite on this one here on the bottom, and then we'll just do a simple wire wrap on the bottom here. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of finagle with this for a second here. Let me get some things out of the way. So I just think I want to make it look just a little straighter there. There we go. Okay, and so now I'm gonna go in here with my round nose pliers. Nope, I'm not. I'm gonna put a bend in my wire first. So I'm gonna go right at top of that bead. Yes, Jen, you can do it. You can make a wire wrap loop. We'll bend the wire, my friends. We'll go in here with our round nose. We'll pull that wire up and around. We'll rotate the plier, make sure our pressure is on the top. Let's push that wire to the back, Make sure everything is nice and straight and dandy. And then we'll wrap it up. Wrap it up all tidy there. And then what we're going to do on the next component is wrap it directly to this one. So let's get that cut and then trimmed in. And for that, I use a whole nother pair of pliers. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to grab that second piece of wire I have, and we're going to do a wire wrap loop and wrap it directly to that howline. So let's do it. Let's do it. I'm going to put a bend in the wire, just a little bit there. So we have our L or our 7. We'll go right in that bend with our round nose pliers. Let's pull that wire up and around to hug the front. Rotate our tool, make sure our pressure's on the top as we push this wire to the back. And there we go. We'll now open the door and let's feed that bottom component on. We will close the door with our chain nose and let's go ahead and wrap it up. And let me look, what did I do there? Looks like I did 3 wraps. And then we'll trim. And tuck, trim and tuck, guys, trim and tuck. I always put a bead on though, by the way. I do that. And just gives me leverage, right? I always do that. So I'm careful to not crack my bead, and sometimes I've trimmed so well, I don't really even need to tuck, which is what just happened there, so that's wonderbar. So I'm gonna put on now an 8mm rondelle, a highlight, and a 6mm rondelle. And now we're gonna do another wire wrap loop. So this time, what I'm gonna do before I bend my wires, I'm gonna look at my earring and I'm gonna determine what I want to be the front. So in this case, I put my little, that little wire to make my knot down here on this head pin. Looks like I put that towards the front. So I'm gonna go ahead and bend my wire this way. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is go ahead and start my wire wrap loop, and oops, then I'm gonna grab this wire and wrap it down. Well, that was terrible. I don't know what just happened there. Holy word. What in the heck are you doing, John? Let's make it like you mean it. Make it like you mean it, girl. Let me get it together. And get things all straight. Heavens. That was terrible. It's just wire. See? It's just wire, guys. Okay. Now, let's try that again like we know what we're doing. I'm going to put a bend in it. And then I'm going to start my wire wrap loop. And what I'm going to do is finish my wire wrap loop at the top here. But this time, I'm going to finish with my wire on the bottom. That's why I did such a thin little wrap on the bottom there, for this reason right here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, right? When I come back around, right? Because this is the front of my earring, I believe. Yes. So this is my front, right? I'm just going to take my wire. I'm going to go right across that bead there on like a diagonal, right? And just kind of come around and do the same thing again. And they won't exactly be perfect match, but like each earring, right? That's what I love about it, right? And then I'm gonna take this wire and I'm just going around one time to land in the back, one nice wrap over those previous wraps in the back. And then we'll trim and tuck. And pop it on an ear wire. And we made a beautiful set of How Light jewelry. Yay. Yay. So pretty. Just love it. It's simple, but still sparkly and pretty. And I like this too, guys, because we can stack it, right? We can stack these types of necklaces. Love it. And then, of course, if we need to tweak, we can tweak. But I don't think I need to tweak. I think that looks just lovely. I hope you guys enjoyed. I have done it. I have made a chain link. Oh my gosh, guys, I feel so accomplished, right? I'm doing things I haven't done in a very, very long time. I feel so accomplished. There we go. There's our earrings. So darling. And we have our necklace. So beautiful. Let me probably pull you guys out a little here. There we go. And again, you can make that any length you want, right? I hope you guys will try making a chain link out of any bead box that you have, my sparkle bag, your stash, whatever. I love this also for spring. It's nice and lightweight. It's also great for summer, right? It's really, frankly, great anytime. But particularly for the spring, I think that's just so beautiful. I'm trying to get it all in here for you guys, and I don't think I'm doing a very good job, let me say. Well, we have the seashell now. The seashell, or really, it looks like more like a clam, I guess. He's taking a little room over there. But anyway, there we go. There we go, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Beaded inspiration, and we will see you in the next one. And don't forget, my friends, I hope to see you in live chat Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, for my March Sparkle Bag Lunch. You are not going to want to miss this one, guys. Until then, my friends, keep sparkling and be blessed.